Put questions of a general nature into chat, or put your hand up and ask after we've done the report. Keep to the point and be brief to give others a chance to speak. Attention everyone, do not record this meeting. This meeting is minuted and recorded for educational purposes only. All members are in a private trust with an NDA. If you share outside of this group, this is a breach of the trust and you will be removed from the Law Council. The attorney for the trust is the only one that can disclose information as the disclosing part, and all the members are the receiving party and are not able to disclose. If you do not understand this, please contact the admin. There's no apologies for anyone who's away that I know of, so can someone okay that, please?
Yep.
Thanks, David. Someone second it? Yep, Karen. Right. Has anyone read the minutes?
Of course I have.
Okay, Dave. Thanks, Dave. Can someone second that, please? Thanks, Karen, again. Okay, approved. Office updates. David, now it's your turn.
Last Friday I had SPCA come in at work. That was interesting. They came in and said to me, I hear you sell phones. And I noticed that she had her phone down beside her recording. And I said, oh, not really, but we've got some sheet frames you can have. And I've never, ever seen people move away so fast. Like, and Briggs said, oh, you know, all you need to do is cut them up with an axe. Oh, no, it's all right.
You said sheep brains.
No, frames.
Frames.
Like the backbone and the ribs and all that.
Oh, are you not allowed to sell bones? Like,
Not really.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But they get, and I said to them, if you don't take them, they're just going to get thrown away. And yeah. And I think also we had are you muted, Briggs?
Yeah, she is.
Did you want to talk about the episode last Thursday, Briggs?
Oh, hang on, not like that. Hang on. Can you speak off?
No.
Technical problems.
Did you want me to do it, Briggs?
Yeah, because she's gone out, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you might as well.
Last Thursday, we had the dog ranger come in looking for our dogs up at home. And they with the police, and they cut our lock at the gate with bolt cutters. They went up home, searched all through our house, and cut the padlock onto our container. And that was with the police and the dog ranger. Now that they were out there to see if we had the dogs, but they went through, they took all the reloading gear that was there. And we weren't there. And all it was, the search warrant, there was 2 search warrants. One was for the dogs and another one, a made up one, no signature, no letterhead from a judge, registrar or whoever, and it was just printed, handwriting, and it down where it says signature had 105, and that was it.
And what was the name of this policeman? I think everyone should know his name because he's a crook.
Ian McFarlane.
Yeah.
And Trevor Gunn was the dog ranger.
Yeah.
We don't know that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah, you know.
This is crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is crap.
Yep. We also had on Saturday we went to our friends Hopi's 25th year fire service. That was awesome, and the mayor was there, and we did a speech. I haven't got it on me yet, back at work, and it really I did it in a funny way. It's about the cows, the cows falling out of the back of a truck. Also taking my guns and my firearms license, and he was not happy. And after my speech, I heard the mayor and this lady talking, and the lady turned around and said, should see if we can get his medical records. Because I had a car, I had a few accidents and a crane falling me about 4 years ago, and I explained to them that I'm still recovering from that with my speech, and so just bear with me. And and then as soon as I sat down, that's what I heard. I was in hearing distance, and I turned around, and definitely, well, I feel they were talking about me. So I rang my doctor and informed him, and that's all I got to report.
Thanks, David. How about you, Shelley? Any new members?
No, not a whole lot to report, really. It's pretty quiet.
Okay. Thank you. Karen, anything to report? If you can. You're muted, Karen. No, we can't hear you at all. It's all right. We'll go on to Greg. Anything to report, Greg?
Yeah, actually, I do, for a change. Recently, a fellow from New Plymouth contacted the Law Council about a group down there that want to push back against the fluoridation of the water in New Plymouth. And apparently the mayor and I think the deputy mayor both are in agreement with him. And so he wanted to see what the Law Council could do for them. And so I sent them some of the stuff that I'd done for the Whangarei District Council and Far North District Council along those lines, and also sent it to the attorney and to see what they could do in terms of an abatement notice to help them out.
Oh, good. Thank you. How about you, Mario? You got anything to report?
Yeah, hi Steve. No, nothing. Well, not from my office, but myself. I was today out of court, delivering the paper and in the police station, and also send all the files to this agency, the abatement notice. So the lady on the registrar said, "Oh, if you feel like you were not right treated, then I should have to make an appeal. I have 28 days time." Which of course is not in question. She didn't want to take it. She ripped it apart. She was not very lovely. Not something you would like to spend the rest of the life together. And yeah, so I afterwards I sent her per email the same thing again, and yeah, so this thing is done. I have now 10 days where they should reply, and I marked it in my record. I'm waiting for that.
Okay. Thanks for that. How about you, Alex?
No, nothing to report really. We did a second letter for a bill of exchange with the Otago Regional Council today with one of our guys, but that's about all I've done, or we've done. We had assembly last week. What else happened? Nothing. No, pretty quiet. Yeah.
All right. Okay, thanks. Okay, Tracy, you can take it away. It's all yours.
Okay. This doesn't sound too good, does it? Okay. All right. We'll talk about what we say we're going to talk about. I want to talk about my favourite people.
Let them know that it's on YouTube video.
Oh, we're videoing on YouTube, so you
Turn your camera off.
turn your cameras off, guys. Okay. So what we've done this week. All right, so we've confirmed with the Ombudsman that they can't handle us, just so you know, and they blocked us. I still have conversations with them. I've seen through another email, but they blocked us. Now, I brought that up with the fact that when we were dealing with the Pacific UN, because with the Pacific UN, I've used the Pacific UN to get information agreed to go to Geneva regarding New Zealand and the way they've been treating us wonderful people here. And we're now, the Pacific UN do not actually have New Zealand on their books. And the Deputy Human Rights Commissioner, Thomas Hinkle, is no longer in that position. And I'm assuming it's because I had a big argument with him. And I pointed out who he was and went to Geneva and said, look, I'm having a bit of a problem here. And things had changed dramatically after that because, again, the UN blocked us in Pacific Islands, but they don't use New Zealand anyway. I still ring them and talk to them and found out all this information. And the reason I ring them and talk to them is because of the position I'm in. And so being recognised in that position, which I don't like talking to the UN, I have another resource. But I can also have the ability to say, look, you're not doing your job. And every one of these people that have been doing this job or what they do, they don't do it. They're just there in a position but they're not actually physically or mentally or thinking about what they're not doing. So that's now, I have spoken to the UN in New York a couple of times in the last couple of months. And I don't really want to talk to Geneva because I get an American or a French woman and they just annoy me. So I'll just email whatever if I need anything. But it's just a matter of informing them that the New Zealand government have been breaching international law. The next thing, abatement notices. And it is really serious. We actually served, and this is, look it up, we did it properly, not something.
No, just look at the camera.
Jesus. Okay, so what we've done is, it's really easy. There's 4 ways of doing an abatement. One is the 2 commonest ways to go and physically serve it into Parliament or get an MP to do it, right? Now, we were in Parliament. I had a witness, that was Chris, and we also got little stickers, hui appointment. I've used that as evidence that I was there because of our Susie, whatever your MP is, what's her last name?
Susie
Redmayne, to table it. It's actually tabled because we served it, right? Now, the clerk, which I find out is Mary, a short, round woman, and I just thought to myself, never breed, and a tall guy called Tim. And Tim gave me his name, but Mary wouldn't give his name. And what I said to them both is that they're accountable for their decisions. New Zealand government does not not covered by insurance, so therefore it's personally on you. The abatement notice is against one court case, which is up on Friday, which is going to be fun, and Brigitte's one. So it is police issues. Plus, I think the abatement notice on one of them mentions MPI, just casually. Then what I did was I rang them up yesterday. What's today? Tuesday. Yesterday I rang them up and I said to them very nicely, look, what have you done about the tabling? Oh, we haven't done it. That's what they said. And I said, oh, that's good. And you're Tim, your last name, don't have to give it to you. But whatever. And who was with you? That round woman that I did, I wish that she wouldn't breed. He said, oh, that was Mary. Last name? No, don't give that. Oh, okay. So I've served it on you, right? Oh, no, you're supposed to go to the MP and get it done that way. And I said, no, there's 4 ways. I chose the latter of me going all the way up to Wellington or down to Wellington to serve it on you. It's served. It's a done deal. But also, it went into an abatement notice went into Waitakere. Now, they knew. He looked it up. And I spoke to the wonderful guy who is actually the head registrar, who sits behind the counter and says, oh, just the guy behind the counter. His name's Dave. Doesn't give his last name either. But Dave was served. I served him. I picked on him because I knew who he was. And then I got back to him and he says, oh, no, you submitted it. I said, no, I served it. And I said, we don't have to argue about it. An affidavit sorts that out. So in that case, they hadn't given any documentation whatsoever. And it was a correction thing and it was a mistake. They made a mistake and they decided to be smart asses. So there was that done. And then there's another abatement which has gone into Dunedin, and that's going to be dealt with as well because they've got an abatement notice. An abatement notice means just you've made an error, fix it before you carry on. It's a polite way of going, oh, let's fix this problem before we carry on, but they've carried on. And then that case, the lawyers were told when you go into the Law Society and make a claim against them, the really important thing is to realise that out of 1,000 million words, they'll pick 2 or 3, put them together and say, yeah, no, we told you. They do that. And this is what they've done here. There was, 20 or 30 emails. They picked a couple of lines and said, no, we did our job right. And people don't read that. People do not read or go through that stuff. They don't. Okay? And so we answered back to it. Now, one attorney answered to it, and I answered to the attorney, to the Law Society and the attorney. So there's 2. One's an agreement, but also went through the emails and did more on the reply. You actually just picked and chose words. You've ignored the fact that this woman's trying to kill this man and she's got children with her, right? And that's what we did. Because, you can do the sovereign thing or whatever you do, but you're not realizing, you're not actually sorting out the problem. The problem is that someone said something and that's okay because they can tick a box. And we're going, hang on a minute, you've got to do your job properly. And we're not doing that. And this is what we're actually doing right now. We're saying you've got to do your job properly. For the abatement notice, we did a very serious letter to Susie. And I think it's up in our message board. There was 8 things that went out yesterday. So one of them was to her, explaining to her that this has been served as a done deal. Now, what was the next one I did? Oh, caveats. Okay, so we're doing caveats now. We've got a lovely lawyer's letter that can help us with that. And we have an ability to have an understanding of what we're not doing right or what we're not doing wrong. We do expect that each caveat we do will be rejected at least 3 times. But on every rejection, it will be fixed. Every single thing we put in gets rejected, and I quite often will reply 3 to 4 to 5 times. Sometimes it's only once, but we get what we want. It's not about, oh, bugger, that didn't work, and I am sick of hearing that. It's about thinking. On LIMS, Land Information New Zealand, they are fully aware and they are issues. And the issues are, which I've caught out now 8 times, that they are selling gifted land. Now, everything in the South Island is leased, so I'm assuming it's mainly gifted land. So how did you buy gifted land, leased land? How did you buy it? If you look at the farmlands and everything that's going on at the moment, you've got to go through your title search. So, you know, no one's approaching me, that's all good. But if you guys want to have a go at doing caveats or looking at your titles, contact Steve. We can do that. I can show you what to do. It's very simple. It's not hard at all. It really isn't. And we need to do that. We need to look at the history. I will tell you that everything was deeded in 1870 and put into 4 buildings, the archives, right? Behind that is a title of the first deed, and it always has a bank mortgage on it. A bank mortgage is a lease agreement. And that's where they took the ability to own land, and the word own is a trust. So they put it into their trust. So they took it from tangata whenua, those who are born here, not the separated word, which is Indigenous Māori, but it's those who are born here. And we're all born here. It doesn't matter where. And we have to be at that stance, because if we have any more dividing, we're going to fall. So if you want to know that, contact Steve and he'll make me do it, okay? I really do hate doing it, but I do know that I have to do it. Okay, and you'll know that I will avoid as much as I can. You all know that, but you know I'll do it if you. I'll do it anyway because that's me. All right, but that needs to be done. We need to know what we're doing. Right. So MPI, I can give you my last thing about MPI is every farmer has the ability to say, "I'll just check your work. If you have a claim on my stuff, my property, my stock, whatever it is, it's all private, by the way. You have private membership. People come to you and they deal with you in the private. It's got nothing to do with commercial, and it's validated through the trust, right? Everyone that comes in, they're all members. Oh no, they're all. Oh shit, I don't know if they've got a card or not. I should check. I'll just check with my administration. I'll ring my attorney up and they'll check with the trustees, right? And that's what you got to do. You got to be really, really cocky with this, because there's a guy moaning about his beehives being burnt down. Well, MPI have been putting little mini cameras everywhere. One guy had a cow standing in a puddle, and they did a drone over it. Well, why aren't you invoicing the MPI for flying a drone over private property? And we've got that system set up, and I'm serious about that. We need to have a debt accumulation. We've got to accumulate debt against them. It's not hard to do. It's just an invoice. You know, everyone goes on about crypto and buying gold and saving. I don't know, just a waste of time, really. We just want to accumulate a debt against New Zealand. And, you know, at the moment, they've got a debt against us and we're the creditor. So I don't know how that works. You all realise that we're the creditor, right? You all know that. You all know they've got roads on our lands and they're charging us for speeding on our lands that they haven't paid us rent to, right? Like, did you pay us rent? Where's the rent? So, you know, and we're not a commercial entity. We're in the private. So what I've just told you guys is a hell of a lot of stuff, but it's all the same problem. Demla will agree with me, won't you, Demla? Because otherwise I'll pull your nose hair out. You see, I've learned how to pull nose hair out from the South Island to the north.
Can I just ask, why are we the creditor?
Because it's our creations. This is our stuff. See, nobody owns anything, right? Because that's a trustee. Remember what he said? No one owns anything. But we've created all the stuff. And these people, the government have created a debt because they've spent so much. And if you look at the money world, if they create big enough debt, you bankrupt yourself and then you become the creditor to your debt. But we're the creditor. And this is what they keep forgetting. That's why the councils have got billions of dollars of debt. They did this in 73, 86. Can't remember which year it was. 83. They bankrupted New Zealand, and the politicians did it. So now they're leasing New Zealand back to us through them.
86.
But this nobody can buy or sell or have. You can hold on to land, you can look after it, and do whatever you like with it, right? But you can't own it as in what you think it's mine. You can't do that. But so that word own actually is trust. Owner is a trustee. And a trustee, an owner, a ratepayer, a taxpayer are all legal entities. You are which is not. We can be a holder. That's not a legal entity, right? We're alive. That's not a legal entity. Living is a legal entity, right? Person, people, legal entities. You know, and it's very, very hard to write certain documents when you don't want to use any document. And that because that's reminding me that I actually had to write back through Anne Cafo wrote back. I assisted her with a letter to David Shepherd because they're trying to get money out of not a legal entity. And I haven't done anything because what I will be doing is I'm going to be pointing out that the judge missed a affidavit of service, which is criminal. But I'm going to leave that to the very last minute. So, you know, it is very hard because people use living or living being and human and all those sorts of things. Okay, so we've been having fun, right? We just have been having fun, and it's very stressful fun. Sometimes I just wonder, what did I just say? But I think, well, you know, if you don't do something serious, you follow it through. We've followed it through, and I personally believe the New Zealand government doesn't know what to do with us. Honestly.
What about your letter to the police commissioner?
Michael will tell you about the letter to the police commissioner.
No, I'm not.
He put it in the messenger.
It's in the notice board.
It's just a very nice letter to the police commissioner on God knows what is he doing. I thought it was a very nice letter. I did it in the best way possible and smiled when I sent it. And it's in the messenger. Okay, there were eight letters, things I've been working on. The major problem is if you've got, I did a video, it got just over 18,000 views, and it's got, they're comfortable. The police are comfortable with the way they're behaving, you know, and this is, we've got a list of the property that they took. They took a bullet. One bullet. They took this, they took that. It's like it's got 22 lines of stuff, and it's like, they probably took less than a handful of a few things, but they're trying to make up a case, and it's desperate because Briggs had put it in. What we did was we said that this guy McCartney had actually stolen meat from the freezer. So the next 2 days after that complaint or that IPCA rubbish, he goes and takes her car for 6 months.
Wasn't that a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, it was only a couple of weeks ago. It's like and the reason we're being very, very nice is I'm actually concerned for their safety. We have to be nice here because that's what it is. We've got to be nice. Then they push their buttons. The mayor is not very comfortable. In fact, I heard a little rumor that the mayor between 11 and 4 o'clock in the morning is filling up his boot with paperwork and disappearing.
Oh,
And there is 105 hours for 4 years for them to go through and answer a very simple question, which was the communication between the police and Rangitikei regarding Dave and Briggs. And they came back and said, we've got 105 hours. We can't do that. But the mayor is lessening the hours, I'm assuming, by putting it in the boot of, between 11 and 4 in the morning. It's just like,
who saw that?
And there's an OIA, just so you know, there is an OIA because of another little birdie, and I've just done one today, and I thought this was good. An OIA on the election roll, especially in Rangitikei. I've asked for candor, and because I spoke to someone that spent a lot of money on lawyers a few years ago regarding the election roll. And the election roll then, and I heard what he said, and I said, oh, he asked the wrong questions. So I've done an OIA on candor, which is the trail, how they did things and sign off, right? Done that. And also I've asked a little thing about the fact that maybe we should have the election roll actually audited. It's all about Rangitikei though. Okay. So those are the things we're doing, and those things, it needs to be followed through, or people put it out there, because it's actually really important, because I'm undermining the New Zealand government. I am undermining it hard and fast, and it's important that I do that, and it's important that we all do it, because once you start realising that they're just thugs, it becomes a different ball game. There's a court case in Invercargill. There's an abatement notice that was served on Parliament to be tabled. So it's tabled because it was served. And that court case is on Friday. And we just discovered in the documents, this is what we discovered in one of the title searches, that someone had a mortgage that they never even knew about. So we do serious work. And we all need to realise that everything we do, you need to wonder why. And, like I said, I will show you how to do total searches and what to do. I'll give you my insight on how I do it, and you might have something else. But, we're all think, and I've got too much knowledge of devious people not to think deviously when I do things, okay? And that's all I can tell you, because it's really funny what you come up with. Anyway, any questions? Say no.
Can I jump in there? I was talking to a guy this evening, and he is an admin for about 4 or 5 different sites in Facebook. And one of these Facebook sites I jumped onto about 3 weeks ago, and it has gone from 600,000 in a relatively short period of time. And these are people like us. They're proactive, but they don't really know what to do. And so what I've been doing is good stuff like in our notice board. I've been taking the link and dropping it into their sites there, and it's amazing the amount of them that hop onto it and comment and share. So that's what I've been doing. I'm talking to this guy, and he's really keen to see our video library and use it and getting things going. He did mention that the English in particular are really starting to ramp things up, and he's talking about thousands, tens of thousands of people are taking on the system and overloading the courts there. And I'm interested to have a bit more of a yarn to him, and he suggested a website. If it's as good as he says it is, I will be putting it in the notice board pronto. Yeah. So what Tracy's doing goes onto the notice board, goes into the video library, and you guys, your job is to, if you're having a conversation with somebody and you think, oh, okay, that's about geoengineering or food or health or something like that, just go to that category in the library and very quickly go down. You'll find one of Tracy's videos that is absolutely on the point about what your conversation with your friend is about. So this man said we've got to get people working together. I agree with that, but we've also got to find a way of confronting the legal system, and the best way we can do it at the moment is your number plate, your registration, rates, and for those of us that have gone over the hill, your pension. Confront them on a regular basis. Just wear them down, because they're certainly wearing us down.
Are they really?
Well, sometimes you get cranky.
I think what we don't realise is that we do have an impact, and what we do is people just give up. That's the problem. And I don't really give. I mean, Michael believes in that. I don't give two hoots about registration or anything like that. It's a private trust, non-disclosure. I really don't. I don't care. It's just not worth anything to me. But I think if you want to put your own number plate on, by all means do so. Because it's got a sticker. If you've got that sticker on your car, that's a flag. That's your mark. And they know what that means. They really do. And I quite often will tell them what that is. Okay.
We got a letter, or we put in a 2 OIAs in regards to my court case, because Tracy really wants to go to bastards. And they said that they wouldn't come back with the information to Tracy, because they said it's contrary to the Privacy Act. And whatever, but they did write to me. They didn't realise I was a member of the Law Council, and
live stream's off.